All right, everybody, what's up? Divine Hood here, back with another video for today. Bitcoin is continuing to pump and continuing to break some key resistances, and especially break this pitchfork band that is we've been chopping in for a while. So it is looking strong. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think about today's price action, where I think the next resistances could potentially come in. If this is the end of the correction, we're going to make new all-time highs, or if this is just continuing the same range, or even to make a lower high above the range for more downside to come to make new lows as well. I'm also going to go over some altcoins. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a separate video with the altcoins because I've got Phil, Doge, EIGIN, Odos, ZRO, RSR, and Phantom. So I'm gonna make a second video where I cover these altcoins, and I'll post that video as soon as I'm done posting the Bitcoin video. Today's video here is just going to be the Bitcoin update, and we might look at the total market caps as well. But we're just going to cover Bitcoin because there's a lot to cover today on Bitcoin. So, yesterday's video, we were talking about, we came up to the top of the pitchfork right here. You can see this, and we rejected from the top of the pitchfork, which was also pretty close to our value area high and our anchored VWAP from the all-time high. This blue line right here is our anchored VWAP from the all-time high. The anchored VWAP from the all-time high, if you pull a fixed range volume profile from present day to the start of this sideways range, you can see that it was also our value area high. So yesterday we wicked up past it to actually touch the top of the pitchfork band, but we closed below and we kind of started seeing a little bit of a correction to the downside. And this is where we were at yesterday's video. We had just rejected from the pitchfork and we had lost the value area high and the anchored VWAP, and we were starting to see this correction come in. And this range is really important. The value area high is really important. So I'm going to zoom in here. Let me get rid of this now. And let's zoom in onto the 30-minute chart here. We're going to look at this range. And this morning on this correction to the downside, we kind of saw like a zigzag ABC correction to the downside. And we held support here. Now, one of the reasons we held support here, remember that big weekly log channel that I was telling you guys about a little while ago? The weekly log channel was right here as well. So you can see we kind of wicked a little bit past it, but we were able to reclaim it pretty quickly, and then it held and we're pumping. So this weekly log channel, which is it's so big, it's on a weekly level, it's not going to be super respected to the dollar on small time frames. But if you zoom out on this, you can see that it really did hold quite well. Let's see, I think it was the 4-hour chart. It did see, so we pushed up above it, came back for a back test, held it, and now we're pumping high, and we're breaking this pitchfork band. This is what's important right now. We're breaking this pitchfork band that held as resistance yesterday. We got a bounce, a local bounce on the local correction, and now we're continuing higher. Now, yesterday in the video, I did talk about that 786 retrace, and I said I did not like how we front ran the 786. We just barely front ran it, and I didn't like that. I said we could come up again to see another touch of the 786. So earlier today, we were coming up to that 786, and let me zoom in a little bit more here. Let's go on to the 12-minute chart here. We were coming up to that 786, and we were getting kind of close, and then we saw this right here, this big volume candle right here. We saw a push up through the 786 in one big candle. The second we made a big volume candle push through the 786, I was no longer interested in taking a short from the 786. Generally, if you're looking for a short from the 786, you want to see it touch the level almost exactly precise, maybe a little bit of a wick past it, but nothing much. And then you want to see it reject right away. And it would also have been a swing failure pattern of yesterday's high. So what I was looking for is the swing failure pattern of yesterday's high into the 786. So if this candle swing failed it up to the 786 here and then stopped at the 786, and then we close that same candle, that same 12-minute candle at or below the swing failure pattern high, then I would have shorted. But because we got that big volume increase wick up past the 786, that automatically let me know no trade to be taken here. Ready to go on to our next go on to the next one. So I personally did not long that, and I just continue waiting for higher. I also did post about in the Discord, once we broke this pitchfork band here, we pumped up past the 786. We saw a little bit of a correction. I'm going to zoom in here. Well, you can see it here. We pumped up. We started seeing a correction, and we came back for a low time frame back test of that pitchfork band. Now that we broke the pitchfork band, let me get rid of the 786 now to clean up the chart. You can see right here on that low time frame back test of the pitchfork band, and I did post about this real time in the Discord. I said, okay, guys, we're coming in. Right here, low time frame back test of the pitchfork band. If this holds, 100K is probable. We were coming down to it right at that moment. We did see us come down to it. It held. We wicked a little bit past it, but it held, and we started bouncing, and then we made new highs. So that's exactly what happened. We came down to it, bounce. Now we made new highs. We came up to the large range point of control, as well as the 886 of the range, the highs to the lows of the range. So I'm going to zoom out here onto the hourly again. And if we do the same fib pull that we were looking at the 786, but we're just going to go to the 886. So from the highs of this range to the lows of the range here. And let's go to the 886. You can see the 886 was rejected, as well as the point of control of the big range. So, and so far we're just seeing barely a rejection. I still think 100K is now highly probable now that we broke above the pitchfork band. We did retest it on a lower time frame, but now we might do something like a little small rejection here, come back down, test it on a larger time frame, and then make our way up to the 100K level, and then we'll see what happens at 100K. If we get the swing failure pattern confirmed, then we can look for a short. If we do not see a swing failure pattern, then we are not going to look for a short, and higher is probable. We are breaking the value area high of this range. And as long as we hold above the value area high of this range, it is highly probable that we come for these highs here at 99.7-ish or whatever they were, the New Year's Eve highs. Yeah, about 99.7 here. And if we do not swing fail pattern this high, then it's very much likely that we come up to 102.2, where we've got multiple levels of confluence of resistance up there. Naked daily point of control, we got this internal high around there. We also got the golden pocket from the all-time high to these lows here, and it will be the bearish backtest to the higher channel. So actually, I'll go ahead and go into that real quick here. So let me clean up this chart a little bit, and we are going to look at that larger ascending channel from November 11th. That's not it either. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so if I zoom out here, let me zoom out onto the 4-hour chart. We had that larger ascending channel, this pink channel we were in. I'm actually just going to hide this pitchfork real quick to clean this up for you guys. And let's hide this anchor VWAP. All right, so we were in this pink ascending channel, and we were rejected from the top, which was also the top of the pitchfork band that the pitchfork itself that I just hid from you guys. And we saw a couple back tests, and then we made new lows below 92K, which what I was looking for weeks. We finally did that, and now we're getting our reversal up to the upside. Now, we could come back to back test it again, and if we do come to back test that again, if you do a fib pull from the all-time high down to these lows that we just made, you can look at the golden pocket here. Let me get onto this golden pocket, and actually let me correct this golden pocket. All right, so from highs to lows, you can see the golden pocket is in perfect confluence with a back test of this larger channel. So if we break these highs and do not swing fail pattern these highs, we can be looking up to 102.4-ish for a back test of the channel. And then if we break that, we have 104 is an area to be looking for also. We do have, if we do the fib pull of this entire channel here, of this entire ascending channel, and then the range we're creating, we're at the point of control now. We do have the value area high of this larger range that is right above the swing failure pattern here. And if I go to the Bybit chart, let me go to the Bybit chart here. You can see I've been paying attention to this channel based off this low, and this high. Last time we came up to it on Christmas Eve, we rejected to the dollar from it. This morning, we came back down to retest the midline. We held the midline. Also, a reason that we held where we did is because you can look our prior highs, our prior last big high right here. You can see those were our prior highs, and we came back down to retest our prior highs. We retested our prior highs, held the prior highs in support, so that shows bullish continuation. And then we continued to pump above the value area high of this range, and we came up to the value area high of the big full range. Now, I know that's a little bit confusing, but we came to the value area high of the entire November 11th to present day range. It's a little bit different on Bybit, it looks like. Okay, on Coinbase, you can see here on Coinbase, we came up right to the value area high, and I do like Coinbase levels better, Coinbase volume levels. All right, so you can see this value area high is right above the swing failure pattern at 99K here, 99.8, 99.9. So 100K is going to be our next very important resistance to be watching here. This swing failure pattern into the value area high of the much bigger range would be a nice level to look at. I believe we have some, let's see. No, but another thing for this 1024 backtest of the channel, you can see we have a naked daily point of control there as well. So we have a lot of confluence up at this golden pocket up here at 1024. If we break what I'm looking for now, the next long or next possible short trade that I'm looking for is a swing failure pattern of this 99.9-ish. I'm just going to say 99.9-ish up to this value area high at right at 102, 103. And then it will also be the highs of this smaller channel here. You can see the value area high is right in perfect confluence with the top of this channel. So if we do a swing fail pattern of these highs here into the top of the channel and we do confirm the rejection and close, I'm going to be looking for probably a 12-minute candle close at or below the swing failure pattern. Then I'm going to enter short here and look for a correction. We can see, we can look at our fibs once that happens to see our targets to the downside. You do have to also now watch for this point of control, which will also be kind of aligning with the midline to be a level of support. So if we come up here, take some time, hit into here, come back down to the midline, by then the midline will be a little bit higher. It's going to be very close to our point of control there. So that'll be an area to be watching for at least a TP there. All right. Now, I did find one other thing today on the charts when I was looking. Let me get back to the Coinbase chart here. And let me get rid of this. So we're going to be looking for 99.9 swing fail pattern into about 102 to 104K. At that level, we'll assess to see if we want to see a short. For shorts up here at 100K with the swing fail pattern short trade, I want to be seeing bearish divergences on the 1 hour and lower, and maybe even the 2 hour or 4 hour. Now, if we look right now, the 4 hour is seeing very, very slight bear divs right now. You can see they're almost identical, but this first momentum wave is just a smidge higher than this one. If we do reject right now, what I'd be looking for, if we reject a little bit more from where we're at right now, let me go ahead and delete this. I'm going to do another fixed range volume profile pull of this smaller range that we're still in. Technically, even though we broke the value area high of this range, we still haven't overtaken these highs. So we're still in this range. We're just above the value area of the range. We want to be looking for, if we swing fail pattern into 100K, we'll be looking for a back test here, or we could look for a back test now. If we pull back from where we're at now, we can be looking for the back test of the value area high because we haven't gotten that yet. A bullish back test of the value area high, and then come up to the swing fail pattern and see the dump. That would allow us to have maybe this momentum wave tops out here, and then we get a smaller momentum wave, and we confirm the 4 hour bear divs there, and we get the dump. So that's what I'm looking for. Bearish divergences, money flow going down, confirm of the swing failure pattern. If you don't get the swing failure pattern, don't take the short. The swing fail patterns only work if they're confirmed. So you would want to see a swing fail pattern into that value area high, into that channel top here, into the value area high, into the top of the channel. You can see the value area high, this white line here, swing fail pattern into this level. It's about 104-ish, 103 to 104, depending on how quick we hit it. And then we look for the dump. Now, on going back to the Coinbase chart here, I'm going to show you guys something else that I just found about a couple hours ago here. So I was just looking at this price action upwards here. This price action since really January 1st, since real late at night, New Year's Eve into January 1st here. At the start of the new year, we've been pumping for the full new year. And so I was going to analyze that price action, and I found a nice channel that we can see here. So I'm going to zoom in onto the 2 hour chart, and I'm going to show you we rejected from the top of the channel, which was also the point of control of the big range there. But I just pulled it from the lows here to the next higher low, up to these first big highs here, which held as support today when we came back down. You can see our prior highs here. So that was an important high because our prior highs held when we came back down on the correction earlier today. So that tells me this is an important pivot point to put a channel at, a channel pivot. We made the channel here. You can see the channels being really nicely respected. And we rejected from the high. So now if we come back down to the midline is also going to be in confluence with the value area high and the anchored VWAP here. If we do that same range pull here, you can see the midline of this channel is at that level, at that value area high. So if we come back down to the midline and we start to see a bounce, I'll be looking for a bounce from here to take it up to 100K to swing fail this, or maybe even 102K up here, where we have multiple confluences of resistance to look at. Now, if we do reject here at the top of the channel and we re-enter the value area, we could be looking at a couple things. If we topping out right now, we could do a fib pull from the high to the low. Let's look first and foremost at the golden pocket. And you can see our golden pocket is aligning really nicely with the point of control of the range. Now, we would be losing that channel by then. But if we do see, oftentimes in corrective price action, the 0.5 does act as a correction target, like on an ABC correction. So you can see the 0.5 is aligning pretty nice with the bottom of the channel, but we'd have to flush pretty quickly to the downside to get that alignment that we want to see. We do have the 2-hour bear divs. You can see higher highs on the price action here, lower highs on the bear divs. Money flow it's looking okay. It still looks like it's rising a little bit. It looks like it's starting to top out there. Let's go on to the 1-hour chart here. 1-hour chart, we do have bear divs as well, higher highs, lower highs here, but money flow looks strong. So if money flow looks strong like this, sometimes money flow, most of the times, money flow will overpower the bear divs unless you have multiple drives of bear divs. Zoom in onto the 15-minute, look at the money flow. Still looks strong. Our momentum wave's starting to bottom. I think we're going to bounce from this local value area high retest, and I think we're coming up to 100K. That could even be a scalp you could take. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, I see this even in our professional Discord, in Jason Casper's professional Discord. I see plenty of traders that are taking really bad risk management in their trades. They're longing after a huge pump, or they're I'll see like a 90x longs and stuff like this. That's okay. You can take longs at what we call local tops here if you have proper risk management. So if you're going to long this back test of this channel midline and the value area high, and you're going to be taking it up to 100K, 100 and let's say 103K there, then you're going to want to set your stop. You want to have an invalidation for this trade that makes it worth it. So right now, this is a 3.5 risk to reward ratio. If we put it below these lows or at these lows, what I would do probably, because if you put it down to these lows, which would be a technical, you'd be changing market structure. So that would be a technical spot. That's only a 2 to 2.3 risk to reward ratio there. That's not good enough for me. So I would put them below these local lows here. And or even if you start dropping back into the value area and losing this midline, maybe cut the trade. Your trade is wrong. Cut it and go. So you've got to have invalidations on your trades, and you've got to have proper risk management with these trades. Now, the swing fail pattern into the top of the channel, into the bigger range value area high could be your TP1, but you could also be aiming up here at the bearish backtest of the large channel and the macro golden pocket of 108K highs down to the 91K lows. That's something to be watching there on Bitcoin. Now, as long as this channel is being respected, we are in the trending upwards in this channel, and we can't expect it to keep kind of just chopping higher. Let's look at the liquidation heat map here. And this is Binance here on the 1-month chart. Let's actually go. Let's go to Bybit. Let's look at Bybit's chart here. All right, so you can see here really nicely on the 1-month chart. Now we have a lot of liquidity resting below those 91K lows. That 90.6K to 90K still looks like the most liquidity is there. But you can also see around 100K, that 105K, the swing failure pattern, we do have liquidity resting up here as well. So those are our two major levels of liquidity on higher time frames. Let's go to the Model 2 chart here, liquidation heat map. Now, yesterday's low that we had, at 96K, it looks like we have a lot of local liquidity resting there at 96K. So let's go check out 96K here. That is below these lows that we made. So the lows of this morning. So a lot of people long this today. And actually, I showed this earlier today in the Discord too. If we go to the CVD here, you can see we had our open interest increasing. It was a healthy move up. Ah, dang it. I have to log in on that. I'll show you guys that in the next video. Open interest was increasing there. And we saw a lot of longs coming up. Fresh longs. CVD was increasing. Open interest was increasing. So it was fresh longs that were pushing that market up. So all those longs that long today here, they put their stops below this local low of this morning. And that's good risk management. And that's why we have a lot of liquidity resting down here. Now, if this takes some time to reject, the bottom of the channel might also be right below these local lows here. So if we do kind of, do something like this, come back down here, hold this, but then maybe make a lower high and come down, you could be watching for an SFP of these lows into the bottom of the channel and then a move up from there just based off local liquidity that we're looking at. All right, so that's Bitcoin. I do think it's probable that we're going to take 100K now. It's more probable to come up to take the highs of the range. We're above the value area high of this range. So we should be watching for us to back test this value area high, to confirm higher, to confirm to come up to these highs. If we re-enter back within to the value area of this range, we do have that golden pocket here that's around the point of control. We do have the bottom of the channel like I just described, and we also have the 0.5 that's aligning close to the bottom of the channel depending on how quick we flush down. But it is probable right now, especially with the way money flow looks right now on multiple time frames, I think we're going to at least up to 100K to swing fail up into like 100.3, 100.4K. And if we don't confirm the swing failure pattern, we're coming up higher. If we do come up higher, we do have that other big, we have multiple levels of confluence up there for the shorts. Let's turn that pitchfork back on. Yeah, okay, so the pitchfork top is around the midline of the big ascending channel, but I don't think we're going to get that high yet. What I think still, I do still think we're in a sort of corrective wave here. And this could be like, let me get rid of this. Let me clean up this chart a little bit for you guys. All right, so if we do the fib pull from that all-time high to the low there, actually that's what I just deleted or hidden. This here, we have that golden pocket up there. Let's look at the 0.5 of this actually, because the 0.5 might be, yeah, we already hit the 0.5, so I wouldn't be paying attention too much to that. That's where we rejected to the dollar last time, as well as it was the top of the channel, and it was a swing failure pattern of this high. But we could be looking at a sort of larger correction here, something like this to the downside, and that is probable. Oftentimes in these pitchfork bands, you start to form a range in these pitchfork bands. Now we are breaking the pitchfork band to the upside, but if we do SFP into 100K and then reconfirm back into the band, it is highly probable that we at least come to the bottom. Let me do that again so you guys can see that. So if we reject a swing failure pattern, this 100K high, come back down and re-enter back within this pitchfork band, it's highly probable we'll come back down to the bottom of the band. And if we don't hold the bottom of the band, it's highly probable we come take these lows, which eventually I do think we still will come take the lows. If you look on the liquidation heat map let's go back to the Model 1 here, and let's go to the 1 month chart. I believe the major liquidity is still resting around those 85K lows. Wrong one. $90K, okay. One of these I was looking at earlier had a lot of liquidity at 85. Yeah, you can see a majority of the liquidity right now is below 90K, the lows that we made on New Year's Eve into New Year's, and then we even have more liquidity resting down here. Actually, this is 75K. So we do have a lot of liquidity. We also have some liquidity up here at 124-ish, 120. But the big liquidity is below us. All right, so that's kind of it for Bitcoin. Let's just keep watching this range, but we are seeing bullish signals breaking above this pitchfork band. We can expect to push up. We do have these internal highs that are also right here near the golden pocket. We have the naked daily point of control up there. Yeah, let's just keep watching that there. I did post about this earlier in the Discord too. I did find one new channel. So if I zoom out here, let me hide this stuff. And let me zoom out onto the 6-hour chart. I'm going to show you guys based off of just this price structure here. We had from this, it's a similar ascending channel, but I'm going to take it from these lows here. And we're going to go to the next higher low that we made just on New Year's Eve. And then we're going to bring it up to these highs. It was these highs here, the all-time high. And you can see how very nicely this channel is being respected now too. Midline being respected. Midline here is being respected. Lost it, back tested it, rejected, reclaimed it, wick to it. So anyways, you get the point. Midline's being highly respected. We do see the midline here coming in, depending on how long we get there. It's around that golden pocket there. It might take some time to get there though. All right. So that's that for Bitcoin. Let's go into the total market cap chart real quick. Let's look at the update on total market cap. Yeah, so we got the breakout of the descending channel. I showed you guys that yesterday. We reclaimed this pitchfork midline. And yesterday, we were looking to come up to these quadruple highs to reclaim these highs. And you can see we are reclaiming these highs now. Now, I do see one thing right offhand here. I kind of see like a bit of an ascending channel. So if we go from this low to this low, we bring it up to this first high. Yeah, we held the midline for a few 2 days, and now we're pumping. So we could be looking to come to the top here. The top of that, we also have that internal liquidity up here around the top of the channel. And if we do a fib pull from high to low, yeah, we're golden pockets right there too. So I'd be looking, if it looks more probable that Bitcoin's going to continue higher to at least the 100.3, 100.4Ks, if not up to 102.4. But we do have the total market cap. We have some resistance up here. And when you're looking at total market cap, you're just kind of looking for it to be a confluence or a confirmation on Bitcoin. If total market cap's at a resistance and Bitcoin's at its resistance, it just gives me more confidence to enter the short on Bitcoin. And then the same with the total 3 market cap chart. If total 3 market cap is at resistance and an altcoin that I'm looking at is at a resistance, it gives me more confirmation to enter the trade. Now, total 3, you can see we're breaking this range. It held a lot better than the total market cap. So altcoins were already kind of crushed from before, but we broke above this value area high. We're able to kind of hold our last prior highs here that were in here, this range here. And now we're pumping back into the pitchfork band. So let's zoom in here onto the 12-minute chart. You can see here this pitchfork band that held a few times, but this morning we pumped back into it and we held it for a couple hours as support, and now we're pumping up higher. The top of the band, we might see a move up to the top of the band because altcoins are looking pretty strong today. And actually, I'm going to go into that. Doge is seeing a really nice pump today. We do have some resistance coming up on Doge. I'm going to cover that in the next video here. But for now, this is my analysis on altcoin and the total charts. So far, it's looking pretty strong for Bitcoin. Even if we do see a lower high into the golden pocket or even at 104K, we can expect Bitcoin to continue a little bit higher probability-wise. Now, I do need to start saying this, you guys. All that I'm showing you here is setups. I'm showing you my possible setups and my key areas of interest I'm looking at. I do not give signals. I'm not a financial advisor, and I do not give financial advice. You know, the saying, you know. But that's true. I don't do that. I just show you guys the probable levels of support and resistance, the key levels, and the key for me is to educate you guys enough to be able to do this yourself, to be confident enough in yourself to look for the confirmations, to find the key levels, and to be able to make the decision yourself, because ultimately you're the one pressing the button. So just make sure you know what you're doing with confirmations in the trades. You can obviously look at other traders to see if their key levels match your key levels. I do that all the time with great traders like Jason Casper. all the Casper Crew coaches in there, Bitcoin Hyper, Andy Bitcoin Consistence. I love those guys. I watch them all the time. But I'm also mostly paying attention to my own analysis and my own confirmations. Of course, I'm taking my own trades real time. All right, that's my video for today. Hope this update helps. Some really interesting developments on Bitcoin, and let's see where this goes.